Hey everybody, what is up? This is Cryptic Heartland Podcast, episode number 109. Yeah, we're doing things still. We haven't gone away yet, so you're stuck with us for another week. As you can see, I'm one of the hosts. I'm Leo, and the man sitting by himself there lonely is somebody. I don't know, Jason maybe? No, it's just us tonight, guys. Dan and Jake are got other things they're tending to right now, so be it. But they'll be back soon. Don't worry. We got Dan last week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was, and then Jake.
Now he's sick.
Oh, that's right. He's sick. That's
Yeah,
right. I
he's
forgot. Sick. Yeah, he was sick.
He didn't want to mess up the podcast coughing all night, so.
Yeah. We don't have a cough button yet. Maybe one day. So, yeah, anyways, but want to wish him a speedy recovery because he missed out. We also did an investigation Friday night, and he missed out on that one too.
Yeah.
So be it. But Jake got to go to that one at least. So that was a fun one. We'll talk about here shortly. And kind of small, well, not too much details. Maybe we'll see. Anywho,
we'll see.
First off, though, you know my usual song and dance. I need to do like a little animation dance.
You just need to have it written and going across the
right.
the top.
So, yeah, no, but anyways, first thing first, make sure you hit like, subscribe, hit notification, turn those on so when we go live, you go live with us. Especially coming up in the next couple weeks, not only are we doing the podcast, we're doing our 100th episode celebration on August 1st. We're going to go set a certain time. We're going to go probably live early, I think. We'll do like a small little podcast like this setting.
It's going to be earlier in the day, so
Yeah.
It's not going to be at this time.
Yeah. It'll
Yeah,
be
on a
Saturday. On a Saturday,
Okay.
yeah. And we'll do, like I said, a live show with maybe some guests. You never know who's going to pop in.
Yep.
And then we'll also do an actual investigation with what we've been talking about for weeks, where we're going to go in and do things such as, some experiments and test our own little wheels, our own strengths and see what we can do. And
It's going to be fantastic.
it's going to be fun. I can't wait. So, and yeah, I don't know. We'll see how the thing goes. Let me fix some things real quick here behind the scenes while you're. So, there we go. Looks a little better. Hey, there I am. I'm kind of hanging off the side, half and half on the screen. Not that anybody needs to see me. Or hear me, for that matter. It'll be the Jason show by himself.
No.
We'll just turn me off right
Wait, no. Damn it.
now. And now Jason, go. No, anyways.
No, I'm just going to stare at the camera.
He'll be like, he'll get stage fright.
No.
But, no, like I said, we've just been kind of doing some things, some filming and stuff behind the scenes and getting ready for everything, and it's been a fun ride so far. Want to say shout out to everybody that's watching at home. Thanks for joining this evening. I see Carl, I see Tiffany, I think Renee's on there somewhere. I'm not sure. Anyways, but if I missed your names, sorry, but thank you guys for tuning in this evening. And that's the podcast. Good night.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, anyways.
No, you said I get stage fright. You're the one that leaves me all the time.
No.
I
sit there. I make sure I stay up there with you and just stare blankly at you when you say, "You got anything to say?" or whatever.
Or then there's Oberlin, where you do leave me.
Well,
I'm trying to entertain everybody. I turn around to ask you,
Yeah.
and you're gone. You're off having fun, leaving all of us by ourselves.
You only remember that because I was showing you video from that night. This before the
Oh
podcast.
no, I do remember that very well.
No, we had fun though.
You caught some amazing footage, but
Yeah,
you left me high and dry, just like everyone's staring at me.
I wasn't dry. It
was
raining.
storming that night. Yeah.
No, but just kind of we'll just kind of dive in some topics here. First thing.
Nope.
Okay.
What do you want to talk about?
I'm just gonna stare at you.
Nope.
No, anyways, no, we did, with everything going on, crazy right now with Corona and all that stuff, we were able to go out again and investigate an actual client who, luckily, was open to us, coming to their home during this time. You never know how
Yeah.
people are going to react, because we had to push a couple cases back for that reason.
Well, I think we're about ready to
Nope,
start taking on a whole bunch. So
not me. So, I'm just playing. No, yeah, so we have so many cases lined up. It's
yeah,
almost double digits at this point. That
Yeah.
People were waiting to get us in there because of everything going on. Did I see Roth? What's up, Roth? He's on for a minute. He said, "I'm timing you."
yeah. So we've got cases up in Salina to Leavenworth to
Yeah, locally,
Mulvane.
Mulvane,
Yeah.
Park City, around here, Wichita. We did one in Derby Friday night, which was fun. Yeah, you never know what you're gonna get. Especially, I think we were starting to ask this question early on, back when we were doing the old meetings when you were at your house and people were at their homes. When we did the old Skype meetings. We know that we were talking. Some of the subject matter was: you think people are seeing more paranormal right now, or has it changed much? And I think they are starting to see more because people are home at their homes more often.
But are they drunk or on drugs or anything else while they're at home?
I have no idea. Maybe they could probably be drunk and on something else at work too. So I mean, not anyways. But
I think I read where the percentage of people that were like drunk most of the time during their quarantine times, and stuff like that,
Right.
it like skyrocketed.
Well, I thought it was interesting. A lot of businesses, restaurants were doing curbside liquor.
Yeah,
the first time
yeah.
ever, because you couldn't do, well, not you don't have a restaurant.
No, but I was
know.
one of those participants.
Yeah, we went a couple of times, a couple of locations too, because it was interesting. I mean, it's interesting how everything kind of loosened up a little bit with those laws, because you can't. My fear would be, are they going to drink on the way home?
I know.
I mean, that's a big risk you
well,
take.
that's down in New Orleans. Corey told me that they have a drive-up spot where they hand you margaritas, ready to drink.
Cool. Let's go right now.
It's like.
I want to go to New Orleans.
I know.
Well,
me too.
I know Andy just went there. Lucky.
Yeah.
She's been there and got to. But thing is, as you found out when you were down in Texas, a lot of things are closed because of this.
Yeah.
A lot of museums are closed. A lot of famous
Everything
spots.
was closed. We were lucky enough to do the aquarium and the rainforest and all that stuff. That just opened the weekend we went there.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and then I know Dan was out, like we talked about last week. He was out at the Stanley Hotel in Colorado, Estes Park, and he couldn't even do the tour because it was shut down. And then a few days later, he came back and found out, hey, they reopened it again.
Of course.
So, it's interesting how things work out. But back to the original thought, though, is we were able to start helping, people that are needing, help because they're noticing some stuff at their home. And this particular case was, like I said, in Derby, was a woman who normally is out in an office setting, but she's working from home, much like myself. But I'm not a woman. I'm saying I'm working from home. I'm just kidding around. But anyways,
you're a woman.
Okay. Anywho, she's working from home more often now. Well, she's been there since March, I think she said, or April or something like that. And she's noticing some things around her house. But the thing was, she was having some of these similar experiences growing up as a kid in their own house back in the days, and she thought maybe this thing has been with her forever, possibly, and now it's resurfacing because of it. But we don't know for sure yet. We asked a couple questions that were interesting, but the thing I was going to ask about, and it just kind of struck me out, or struck me odd. It was the fact is they noticed this thing started happening about roughly 6 months ago around Christmas time. From there on till now is because they received a gift of sorts from another country.
True.
And that's one thing that made me think, well, it's just a box. It was a box from Middle East country, we'll say. And it's a place that, should I say it? I mean, I don't think it's going to be a big deal.
No, it's not a big deal.
They received a gift because their husband collects little different types of sizes of boxes and stuff for, to put stuff in. And he got something from his sister from Egypt, which you'd think, the Sphinx and all that stuff.
It's pretty elaborate box,
it's
but
cool.
it's not huge. It's just
Well, he put some ashes in there of somebody close to him that had passed away, that he's had for a couple years now. He put it in this box to store, as a kind of a keepsake, a memento to honor his his the person close to him that he has. Well, this is when the activity started picking up. So I guess my question is, do you think, is it possible that this is where the root of the activity started from? Not because of the fact it's just a box from Egypt, it's the fact that he took the ashes that were out on display elsewhere and then put them in this box. Did that heighten the possibility of these activity all of a sudden? Because it seems to be pointing towards
possibly
that. And we had some good interactions Friday night from this situation, but I mean, everybody puts the ashes in something,
right?
Whether it be just typical your everyday urn. Well, my wife's grandpa was a mailman, and he passed away when before we got married. Actually, they put his ashes in a little mailbox, to honor him, kind of thing. And this is kind of similar, but I mean, I just didn't know. Versus having it in your typical urn, is it possible that what they put it in now is what's creating this is radiating outwards, I guess.
Given from the location it came from, are you thinking that it's like kind of meshing with the energy around it and stuff like that?
Well, because the thing we didn't know until Friday. Well, I knew it was from the country, but
Right.
the sister bought it off a street vendor, and in a marketplace. Yeah, and
Interesting.
You don't know where that stuff comes. I mean, think about all the what Hollywood puts out there as far as things.
It could have been actually stolen from a museum somewhere like that. just saying,
No, I'm just saying you don't know the surrounding. You don't know the back
Right.
history of this box,
Right.
what it's from, or what it, was it stolen from a pharaoh, tomb, whatever, kind of. I mean, who knows? I mean, you hear
or
about
something a replica that looks like it and has some symbols on there. Who knows?
Right. I'm just saying, because
I didn't get a chance to actually look at it too closely. I just saw it from afar.
I didn't want to touch it. Just because I'm trying to be respectful because it's somebody's ashes, number one.
Right.
And B, just I don't know. I didn't know what to expect. I mean, I did want to touch it, but I also didn't want to the same token. But I wanted to see if I could get any kind of energy and vibrations off of it, and I didn't get anything out of the ordinary at that moment by holding it. But the fact was, once we started doing some investigating part, it came into play, big time. And I just didn't know what your thoughts were, if it could heighten activity.
Possibly. Having been around urns and ashes and stuff myself,
Sure.
Keeping those artifacts close to could possibly heighten the activity in a home.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've been over to our house and everything like that,
Right.
and there's been some activity in the house.
Sure.
And everything, but
Right. Centered around
yeah,
that individual, yeah.
not saying that all the activity is from that
Oh, no.
individual or anything like that, but I don't know. I think the possibility of putting any ashes or anything in certain, I mean, if we believe in the spirits and the thereafter, and they're capable of coming about and doing that, then
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Because the same thing with Friday night. It wasn't just that particular person
Right.
that was in the ashes, that the ashes were. It was another individual also haunting, but
Yeah.
she noticed it all picked up at the same time, which I just don't know. I just didn't know because they didn't think about anything out of the ordinary about it. When I first did the initial interview, I started asking the usual questions. Have you brought anything old or gifted down,
Yeah.
and that's when it's really started to spin the wheels a little bit.
Well, I wonder if the fact that you heighten the energy around a certain individual and the spirit that per se is attached to the
Mm-hmm.
object or whatever, maybe that heightens the other spirit that was possibly connected to the person there.
And that's kind of what I was alluding to also, too.
The two spirits are kind of like, oh, hey, this is my territory, this is my, I mean, we're human.
Right.
We're just like that.
Yeah.
Who's to say we're not
we're
like that
territorial.
afterwards? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, do we change after we die? Do we change our personalities? Or do we, I mean, doing all the investigating we've done over the years, I feel like who you are as a person alive is the same as when you pass.
Right.
You're not changing. You're not going to go, oh, now I'm holy now.
Well, yeah, definitely, I agree with that because that's happened in most cases. I don't know, a lot of cases where, one particular house, the one on El Pico, the guy was a grump.
He was.
And
yeah, that was the stories.
it was bad enough to where, a couple of things was he had a deformity, his foot. He had
That's
that club foot.
right. That's right. The
And
club
one
foot.
thing we captured and was witnessed or heard by also the owners was the dragging sound, like somebody dragging a foot.
Right.
Also, there was one time where he was an older guy. He went out in the front yard,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know what he was doing, mowing the grass, or I don't know if he was out there, and he ended up kind of fainting in a way, or laying down in the grass. Maybe got a little bit too overworked or whatever.
Heat stroke or something.
And the neighbor came out. I was like, oh, a next door neighbor came out across the street and said, "Oh my God, did he pass out? Because he's older and had a little bit of disability." So they came over across the street and was talking to him, and he's like, "Get off my grass, get out of here," and just
Right.
an asshole basically. They're like, "Well, fuck you then." Basically, I was here to see if you're okay.
Right.
Well, we experienced that same, attitude. And, well, you and I got growled at, remember?
Yeah.
I was showing Jason the pictures last week of that incident.
You got the video of it and everything.
Yeah, and the sound and everything. And I think, it's possible, especially if you're that much of a jerk, or if you have unfinished business, obviously, or whatever, you're gonna come back as the same form if you, for whatever reason. I don't know why.
I mean, do you think it is unfinished business? I mean, we don't even know why we're here, basically.
I'm here to do the podcast.
I know, me too. But I'm saying overall for life, you know.
True.
It could be just the fact that, you still have an agenda of your own that you're still trying to do.
Yeah. Well, let me throw this out here, and I don't know what your take on it is. I was raised Catholic.
Right.
I know, shocking. Hispanic, Catholic. Anyways, I'm not a guy that sits on this Catholic throne and say, hey, you know me well enough. Everybody who knows me well enough. That's not me. So, anywho, we're taught that there's a heaven and a hell.
Right.
And there's also purgatory, a place where, you go to kind of to figure out where you're going to go in the afterlife if you believe in all that stuff. So that's not the question I'm getting to. What if purgatory is earth still, and your punishment is you're going to sit here for X amount of years to figure out why you were an asshole in life or whatever, or because you murdered somebody or were, died a violent death kind of a thing. Maybe purgatory is earth.
Could be.
I mean, I don't know.
Could be. Why not? Why couldn't that be? There's some religions that don't believe in hell.
True.
That actually believe that hell is hell on earth.
That's true, too.
And you pass away, and you're still stuck here, facing your family, facing everybody else.
Yeah.
But then, you talk to someone like Lena, who can actually hear them laughing, having a great time.
Sure, like a party or something.
They're having a great time being where they are, free from the pain and everything that they were doing.
Yeah.
So maybe it is. Maybe it is just like that. Maybe here on Earth it's just...
Yeah.
If you choose to stick around here to be around your family and friends and continue to see what everybody's doing and everything like that, and you can just go and do whatever you want. Or you go off to the universe or whatever, wherever.
Yeah.
It's not Golden Gates, that's for sure, but that's my opinion.
The Golden Arches.
The Golden Arches. I will go to McDonald's, that's fine. I like
What if that's your torture? You can see the Golden Arches, but you can never get in to get that damn hamburger and french fries. Dang it.
You just stand there smelling it all day long.
I need food.
Just want my nuggets.
No, that's one thing I've never asked Lena ever, is her take on religion.
I feel like she has kind of a strong...
I mean, I'm sure she does. I just didn't know.
Take to it, but
I don't know.
I haven't asked her either.
I don't know her background. I mean, I don't know if she's Catholic, Lutheran, or whatever else, or non-denominational.
And you said you're Catholic. I am Methodist first.
Yeah.
Then I was baptized. I was baptized Methodist, and I was baptized on my own free will as Baptist.
Yeah.
Both places pretty much, irritated me and got on my nerves on how they treated people. I mean, I didn't care for it.
It depends on your stance or your faith, I guess we'll say. I mean, a lot of religions is that way. My wife and I were just talking the other day about religion. I mean, and that's one thing I'll talk to you about politics, religion. Not you. I don't want to talk to you. No, I'll talk to anybody. Anybody given a day on politics, religion. I study up on it. I'm educated to a certain level, not the highest person. I mean, but I mean, I'm educated enough to where I can have a conversation with you, and I'll debate you on stuff. And you hopefully know by now, I'm always going to take the stance that I don't believe in. I'm always going to be devil's advocate.
I know you always are. Just to get under my skin about stuff. No,
it's for argument's sake. If I say everything. I agree with everything you say, Jason. Oh yeah. What's the point? Okay, our conversation's over in 2 minutes. Versus, next thing you know, 2 hours later, we're still arguing the same point. It's like, I mean, it doesn't. Like I said, whether I believe it or not, it's one different thing. I have a strong belief in things, and but, anyways, the whole thing of the point I was talking about, my wife and I were talking about religion, was just because of all the state of the world right now. It's crazy. I'm not gonna get on the soapbox. I'll get on my chair here though. No, it's funny what Corona has done to everybody in the world. I mean, it's divided a lot of people from a personal belief stance to a political stance to we're blaming somebody in the office where it's a government hoax. Now it's the state of Kansas's fault. It's like we've become assholes to each other over.
Oh, it's disgusting how bad we treat each other now.
Yeah.
But this isn't the first time this has been.
Right.
It's just a lot easier to see and do because of social media.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't blame, like, per se, the news stations. I blamed social media and everybody and their phones and their computers.
All right.
You know, I've been told that, you know, it's not really the people in their armchairs and stuff. But, you know, honestly, it is people with their sitting in their armchairs, looking at their phone and then their computer that are spewing a lot of bullshit. Okay? But it's disgusting how we're treating each other.
Oh, that's the thing I am disappointed in. I don't care if your stance is right or wrong. I don't care if the next person. I mean, because nobody's right and wrong in this.
Right.
If that was the case, we'd have figured this shit out a long time ago. We would be back to normal, possibly. But I'm just saying, I respect everybody's opinion. You can have your own opinion. I'm not here to debate you and change your opinion.
Right.
I'll debate you once again if you want to talk about it. But it's the fact that, you know, it's just you can have that opinion. So be it. But I don't need you to, you know, shout from the high heavens and be like, hey, my opinion's the only way, or you're wrong.
But it seems like one side is very adamant about being angry in a forceful way if you don't believe what they believe.
Yeah.
I just want to say fuck you. You know? I don't want to deal with the hate. I don't want to deal with the hate. I want to deal with, like, let's figure out this together and work together to get to where we want to be.
Right.
And everything. I just can't stand that. I was listening to a podcast on the way over here, and it was...
Was it the Cryptic Heartland podcast? You son of a bitch. You weren't even listening to our own podcast. What an ass.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I know you told me.
I hate the sound of my voice, so I don't even listen back to anything I do.
I try not to either. Well, my own voice, not yours.
Yeah. You hate my voice, too.
Okay.
No, but what they were talking about was on this podcast. It was Brad Metzler. He's one of my favorite writers. He does a lot of nonfiction to fictional to comic books to children's books.
Can you name a couple? Just something like you told me one off there that I looked at you with a blank look, like I know the name, but why do I know? And he gave me
yeah. So Brad Metzler, he's a writer. He does a lot of political books. Some of his stories, like his nonfiction or for his fiction books, he does a lot of intertwining, like stuff happening out in Washington D.C. You know, like the hidden book of secrets and stuff like that, and it all intertwines back to the Revolutionary War, to link, you know, to Washington and Adams and all those characters, all leading up to like a secret society, stuff like that.
Right.
It's fun, but he also puts a lot of accurate historical stuff into it, so it makes it really fun to like it because you're being educated while having fun in a fictional story.
Yeah.
But he does write some nonfiction, and his newest book right now is the Lincoln Conspiracy.
Cool.
So he was talking about, before he went into talking about the book and why and the story he wrote about, because it's not the conspiracy you think it's about. It's a different conspiracy. But anyway, I'll get back to that in a second. Because I know you and I love the JFK and the Lincoln conspiracies.
Never
and stuff
heard
like
of it.
That. What?
Go ahead. Kidding.
So, what he was talking about is how awful life was in America during the 1860s.
Versus now? Because now, today sucks.
Well, yeah, but we weren't alive there. We weren't alive
Maybe
then
Rose
at that
was.
time. He could have been. Him and Jeremiah, kind of on that, you know.
I didn't say anything about Carl. I let you off the list this time, Carl.
Yeah, Carl, no.
We'll blame Ruth and Jeremiah for being alive back then.
Carl might have been born. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, Carl.
We love y'all. That's how I always say it.
But no, in the 1860s, you know, you had everything rising up. You know, you had the Civil War that's, you know, breaking out. You have all that conflict, the hatred, and how disgusting everyone treated each other if you didn't believe a certain way.
Like today.
Kind of crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
That, you know, Lincoln actually knew, I guess, and it's in his book too, he talks about how Lincoln remember, and I guess he wrote it. He wrote a lot of stuff down about his life and
Who did, Lincoln?
Lincoln himself.
Oh, okay.
Journals and stuff
Yeah.
like that. That he stared at himself in the mirror. He had just got elected, hadn't been sworn in yet.
Mm-hmm.
Just got elected, and he's staring at himself in the mirror, and he says it just kind of faded, like
Okay.
he couldn't really see himself too much, like it kind of became like a blur. And whether or not he was dreaming this or whatever, but he swore, he's like, I'm going to die in office. I just know I am.
That's encouraging.
Well, he
Right
just
off the
knew
bat.
because of the state of the world of where they were. Everybody hating each other because you're either this side or this side.
Right.
And that's, once again, where we are today. We hate each other, and people are saying left and right that we are on the verge of another civil war. Now, I don't believe that, and I don't really think that that's actually going to happen, but
You'd hope not.
I hope not, because it was absolutely horrible at that time.
Right.
And given today's life, I mean, you got people who think they're, mercenaries and probably never did a bit of military work in their life or anything. They might be just, video gamers. But back then, he was just talking about how awful it was leading up to everything and how both sides were split and everything. But they decided, the country is worth it. The Union is worth it to save the country and not split it and try to keep the United States as it was.
Gotcha.
Whereas today, we're basically shitting on ourselves every single day.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
We are.
Some people wear diapers, like Ruth.
Like Rose.
That's Brad right there.
That's Brad
Good old
Metzler.
Brad.
So
Yep.
he's writing he has a new book. It's out already.
Oh, it is?
I believe so. It's the
have to find it.
Lincoln Conspiracy. It's telling the story that not many people know. Or talk about it. It's the secret assassination attempt shortly after he was elected, and from Pinkerton himself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if any of you all know Pinkerton. Pinkerton was
Not personally.
pretty much the shut up was pretty much the beginning part of the Secret Service.
Right.
His agency, and he was just like a self-taught individual in law and investigating and stuff like that. So him and a female agent figured out that as Lincoln was on the train heading to, I want to say it was like near Baltimore, that there was an assassination they were going to do. So the whole story was the train ride up there trying to figure out how to save the president and everything while still getting up there to Baltimore to do the talk and everything. And they may talk about in the book about it's over here. It's over there.
Nah, you can't do weather.
I can't. I'm horrible with it. So, talking in the book, I don't know if they actually know exactly who was behind it or not, but it brings up a lot about the Knights of the Golden Circle and everything like that, and who was a member of it. Well, John Wilkes Booth was a member of it. But anyway, it's just a crazy story of how messed up America was at that point, and now you're looking at it today.
Right.
And how social media is, I blame social media from Facebook, Twitter, all that, especially Twitter, for God's fuck's sake. All that, that is fueling everybody's hate more and more. And, and then you walk into stores and it's just getting crazy. People pulling guns on each other.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to bring up a story about that, too.
Yeah, go ahead.
One of our good friends who is on a different paranormal team, she's up minor business, I want to say probably like in Leavenworth, up in that area.
Yeah.
And just went into a small mom and pop store she's been to before. And, and she's very open. She's like us. Just have your own opinions. Who cares?
Yeah.
Stick to your conviction. That's awesome. I mean, I encourage it. Be yourself. So she's that type of person. So she had a mask on.
Mm-hmm.
She said, and the thing I noticed, I walked out, and when I walked in towards the store, there was no sign anywhere that says mask required or not, nothing.
Right.
So be it. Amen. Walked in, noticed that the cashier didn't have one on. Once again, who cares? That's awesome. Whatever. Do you. And then there was one more customer, and there was a small store, she said, like a 2,000 square foot store maybe. And she walked in and noticed that one customer in there didn't have a mask on. Once again, nobody cares. From her standpoint, that's fine, so be it. So she walks in, and then the customer turns and sees who opened the door and sees her with her mask on, and immediately just starts going ape shit. I mean, just belittling everything. Oh my God, freaking everybody in the government and blah blah blah, the state of Kansas and this and that, the mask and this and that. You're all sheep, and just just getting red in the face. And the girl that was there.
Did she throat punch him? That's what he deserved.
It was girls, all girls in this case.
Oh, okay. Throat punch.
She was just going off. The lady, our friend, was just looking at her, smiling behind her. Just like laughing at her, not out physically, just looking at her like, "Are you freaking kidding me? Really?" And this lady continued on. I'll never listen to the government, this and that. And I actually have a pass that says I can go to anywhere, and if they ask me about my mask, I can show them this special number, this special post thing, or whatever it was.
What fucking pass do you have?
And I can say I don't have to wear a mask and all this stuff. And then the thing I love about the the comment she makes after that, because she goes up and still complaining, and the cashier just kind of laughing at her, and agreeing with her on some things, whatever else, just probably get the crazy lady out of there. She walks up, the irate member, her customer, walks up, pays for stuff, and the thing I love about the post that she said was, she's paying sales tax. And her name was Cassie, the girl that we were friends with, and she has no idea I'm laughing behind my mask. Like, here you are complaining about this government and all this crap, and you're paying Kansas sales tax.
You are. It's amazing how much you do according to the law and the state and government and everything. You do, like you put your seatbelt on, right?
Yeah.
I had somebody that was in my car who was complaining about, well, we don't need no stinking mask. You can't tell me to do something. As he's grabbing the seatbelt and he puts it on, I said, well, you just put your fucking seatbelt on, right?
Yeah.
I said, who told you to do that?
Right.
Well, it's the law. I'm like, there you go.
Well, and she brought up another question.
And it saves your life, too, right?
Right.
It's amazing.
She mentioned your favorite person. I'm not going to give names. Now, Trump. She asked what if Trump, or better yet, the federal government mandates you have to have a mask from here till whenever.
They won't.
Are you going to, I'm just saying, what if? She brought that up. What if it becomes a law that you have to wear a mask?
And police cite you and ticket you for it.
Is this person going to complain like, well, I have my special, get out of jail free card?
I don't think there is such a thing of a pass.
But she's like, what are you going to do then?
Yeah.
It's not the state of Kansas requiring you. It's the freaking government telling you. You're going to go off on a tyrant then too, and all this stuff. It kind of leads in just the state of the world is crazy right now.
It's like, do I like wearing a mask? No, but I have to all day long at work.
I don't have my mask with me. Dang, I was going to show you.
Yeah. He's like, I don't want to.
Yeah.
I prefer to live my life without it. But
yeah.
At the state of the world and the world, not America.
Yeah.
The world. But, since we're, the shithole of the world right now because of everything and the numbers.
Right.
But it's just fake, right? It's just fake. It's fake news.
Yeah.
Now, anyway, go ahead.
No, it just brought up the next point, and Cindy commented about that. She said, I have to find it real quick here. Where the hell was it? Sorry, Cindy. I saw you post something that made me think about the next thing. Dang it, where'd it go? Oh. She said, it's not necessarily a government political thing. She said, but the virus and the hatred between races right now needs to be stopped, which I agree.
Well, it is also about politics, too.
Well, I mean, in some aspects, yes. But,
yeah.
But I don't think the U.S. government, brought it up out of nowhere and said, hey, this virus is out there. You need to wear a mask. It's not that. But
no,
the thing I was going to say was because of this whole situation with George Floyd, I mean, when all the protests and all the nonsense, and not necessarily nonsense, I shouldn't say that. Let me rephrase that. The protests, yes, so be it. Peaceful, whatever. But when you have some other people have their own personal agendas coming in and messing those protests up and breaking stuff, rioting, burning stuff down, that's a different, I want to say something wrong. That's something that's a different monster in itself. That's not what I'm talking about.
That's horrible
shit. That's not what I'm talking about.
I hate it.
At all. What I was going to say was, I read an article, and this is the worst example to give because Chicago is a violent town. There's on any given day in the what's called ghetto, I guess. There's always like 17 deaths over a weekend just on annual. I mean, like every weekend, and it's just a violent town. There's some areas that the police won't even go to because of this. I mean, they don't want to even go in these dark corners because of that reason. I mean, it's just that dangerous. Well, the story I read recently, and I read today, matter of fact, was 4th of July was how long ago? 15 days ago at this point.
Yeah.
And most places allow you to do it till the 6th, roughly.
Right.
Shoot fireworks, I'm saying. Well, this lady, actually, no, it wasn't Chicago. I'm sorry. It was in Brooklyn, New York. I apologize. But I saw something.
Still.
I saw something else with Chicago. That's why I got my mind mixed up.
Chicago, Brooklyn, St. Louis, they all have some
violent area. East St. Louis is bad, unfortunately. But anyways, it was in Brooklyn, New York. A woman went up to a guy shooting off illegal fireworks and asked him to stop. And I don't know what was said, how it was said. I don't know. And she was wrong for doing it. That's not your spot. That's not your place to do it. Just go tell the police if you want to be. If you're that broken up, let them handle it. Well, anyways, she did it. And the guy, I don't know if it was a boyfriend or husband. I don't know. I can't remember the age of this lady. For some reason I feel like she was older, a little older. Not old, but older. Who knows?
Your age.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. No, I'm kidding. Anyways, she confronted this guy, and the guy left, came back with a gun, and shot her 8 times. Because she confronted him, and how dare you tell me what to do, and
welcome to America.
And she died. I mean, now she's dead. And they can't find the guy, of course, because who knows? It's New York. Good luck finding the criminals. I mean, because it's easy to hide in biggest city in the United States, second in the world. It's the world we live in right now is just so freaking crazy. I mean, I can't believe
so much hatred going on.
How much of it is Corona? I mean, like
how much? Yeah, how much is
affecting our brains? I mean, seriously, the disease.
Is it just the fact that everybody who's alive right now has not gone through all the major diseases and stuff of the past? Mm-hmm. So we don't know how to function, and everybody is a frickin' genius on everything. And
once again, you said social media.
Yeah,
plays a huge role in this.
Yeah, and it's just social media. People arguing back and forth. You can't say one thing on Facebook without an asshole coming out to gripe you out.
Yeah.
To tell you that you're stupid.
Yeah.
We as a people are just, I don't know, we're blowing up because there's a lot of hatred. Is it politics? Is it this side or that side? I don't know. But I feel like all this hatred is building up inside of all of us.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be right.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is how do you prove you're right? I mean, can you? And
some people, they shoot people 8 times to prove that they're right.
At the end of the day, and if you were right, then so what? So be it. Then what? You're like, hey, I was right. Cool. Now what? Go pick on something else. Go figure something else to argue about. It's just insane, man. I mean, I hate it.
It's also an argument of, like, when it comes to who has the knowledge, who has the right information, to those who don't have the right information, who's listening to who. Like right now, one group that has the information and can tell you, I've been doing this all my life, studying this and researching it, and I can tell you how this is going to play out.
Right.
Either do the steps to stop it, or hey, we are where we are. Or you got the others who are like, fuck you, it's not the reals, everything like that, we can just move on.
Yeah.
Also can go with, what we do in our life. With what we do. We could try to prove to everybody that what we do is real, and then you have everybody who gripes at us, and naysayers who are like, oh, you're stupid, you're devil advocates, and
devil worshippers.
Devil worshippers and all that stuff,
I mean, I'm really helping our cause with the devils right there in front of us. Sorry.
And this. The
holy water. I have a well-balanced meal.
You have the holy water there.
And that's real holy water, mind you.
Yeah.
I mean, and people were saying that's sacrilegious.
Can I pour it in my Pepsi?
Because it's blessed by, the bishop. So,
I'll put it
yeah, it's just, I don't know. And I didn't mean to turn it into political. I was just thinking about all the stuff in the world. I mean,
why not talk about it? Why not talk about it sometimes?
Because it's old. It gets old quick. I mean,
it gets old, but we never talk about it.
I don't. You look at my post. I'm pretty sure if you read my Facebook post, I don't really post to Facebook much anymore because I I used to stir the pot on purpose just to put shit out there because that's the type of person I was. But now I
Yeah.
just don't. I haven't posted about anything, and I don't know how.
No,
long.
you have pictures of family and
That's
your
about
kids and all that
about
stuff.
I'm gonna keep Facebook around because of the shows we do, the
Right.
podcasts, the
Right.
groups we do. Because I mean, it's good advertisement. Plus, it's a good newspaper for me. I read that every day just to see, hey, what happened in the world today? Oh, bad shit. But no, I didn't mean to go down that rabbit hole. But it was mostly because I was gonna say we're able to get out now again because of Corona. Luckily, I told. This is how I'm going to approach things from here on out, and I don't either ride or die with this kind of a thing. No pun intended, but every case by case, I'm going to ask the owners, what is your request? Do you want us to wear a mask or no mask?
Right.
And so be it. I'm not here for the political, debate with you. I'm just asking you if you're more comfortable with us coming with masks, we'll come with a mask. And if you don't, those that don't on the group that don't like it, don't have to wear masks. But they can't probably go, unfortunately, to that particular investigation. Only because the owner says we want you to wear a mask. Well, I don't want to wear a mask. Well, the owner says that we have to respect. We're going into their homes, their businesses, and you got to respect.
I just want to ghost hunt.
That's all I want to do.
I want to investigate and figure out the story and capture the best footage and audio that I can.
Yeah, same here.
If I have to wear a mask doing it, then so frickin' be it.
Yeah, and that's kind of what my take was, and that's what I'll stick by. And a rant. I mean, that's it. Sorry,
okay.
But no. Anyways, the whole point was we were able to go back out Friday night and actually investigate, and we're going to go out and start getting some of our cases done because we need to. Hopefully, because unfortunately this thing's not going away anytime soon. But paranormal stuff's not going away either. I mean, we need to start helping the clients, especially if there's a need for it. I mean, if they have a child in there, or somebody's getting scratched or hurt, or God forbid, demonic. I mean, then we need to go out there sooner than later. And
to me, everything else is a lot bigger than just wearing a stupid mask.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. So, but no, like I said, I can't wait for 2 weeks from now. Roughly 2 weeks now. I think it's 2 weeks. We'll be doing that 100th celebration. That's gonna be fun.
You ready for it?
No. Absolutely. Actually, no, because a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff we need to get taken care of, and we'll get it done. That's why we're going in a day earlier to get everything set up, hopefully, and working and whatnot. And
it's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully we got the whole crew ready to go for that. No one's getting sick or and everything like that. But yeah, it's going to be hopefully Andy and Chris and Renee can make it.
I think they are. Sounds like.
I think Andy. I know Andy will.
Yeah.
Just hope that Renee and Chris can make it down from Dodge City.
Yeah.
Or out from Dodge City. It's not down, but
over.
Over.
Really, technically we're almost equal.
I think even Captain Carl may be stopping in.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And everything. So
it's been long. I haven't seen Carl in I don't know how long. It's been a while.
I know.
Personally, you guys have seen him along the way here and there.
Oh yeah.
So look forward to seeing everybody and just having some fun. At the end of the day, that's all I want is to have fun, because I'm tired of all the bickering and everything else.
I mean, that's a lot of the reasons why we have such a hard time with other teams and stuff like that is because they, I don't know. There's so much backstabbing and everything that we do and all that.
Yeah, and we were talking about that off camera. Just amazing the journey we got. Because Jason and I have been the last two remaining members, and Renee also too. I guess Renee's been there too, but the last remaining members of the original ELP group that was around back in the days when I first started.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the original group, but just the last two people that were standing strong still, and it's been a journey. I mean, we've been going for 10 years at this, Jason and I alone together, roughly, and I
mean, we were both doing stuff beforehand, and then before we got on the team, so.
Yeah, and we've climbed that mountain. I mean, we've been all over the place, man. We've been as far as, North Carolina to California to Oklahoma and all over the place in the surrounding areas. And we've seen many cool things and some stuff I never would imagine we'd see in our lifetime, or shouldn't have probably seen. Sorry.
And then we've seen some things that, you just want to beat your head into the wall about,
Yeah. It's been a fun ride. I couldn't ask for a better I could always ask for a better life, but I mean, I couldn't ask for a better opportunity. We'll put it that way, because we met some famous people and not so famous people. I mean, along the way, and it's been great, and yeah, it's been fun. When we're only still climbing, so that's good.
Shoot, meeting Jason Kay and Chad Lindbergh and
Johnny Hauser,
and Johnny Hauser and
David.
I've never met.
For me,
I've never met Josh Hurd.
You didn't talk to him that day?
No, at the Paracon.
He was right next to us. You didn't talk to him once.
I never did. I was too busy running around everywhere, and Roth was taking me over here, and then I was following you and stuff like that.
I wanted to be running around.
Never, you and I did that podcast with him and Jason.
Oh yeah.
But even that was fun. But he was always busy talking with somebody, so I never got a chance to.
Yeah, we had a blast. I mean, I wanted to be running around, but unfortunately, somebody had to man the booth while everybody was. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get you some candy and stuff like that. I'm like a Snicker bar.
Roth was stealing everybody's candy,
and he never came back. I'm like, "Where's my candy bar?" He's like, "Oh, I ate it." I'm like, "Dude."
Yeah, he was going around to all the different vendor booths, and whoever had candy, he was just like storing it up and then walking around eating it, and then.
Yeah, they're like, "There's free beer over here, and there's food over here." I'm like, "Really?" Because I don't know. All I see is the wall here. Because everybody's else. I'm in a different room. Nah, it was worth it. I met so many cool people on the way.
Yeah.
We've got some good connections, so that's all that matters. And we were supposed to go back this year. We should have been there the time of the podcast that we're doing the 100th episode. But unfortunately, we got canceled till next year. Which, hey, so be it. We'll go back next year, and it'll be just as good and stronger, hopefully. So yeah, it'll be fun and whatnot.
Hopefully, we got the same guest speakers or
yeah.
Different to great, I mean, it was going to be a fantastic time, but it saddens me that we can't go. It really broke my heart. I was so thinking oh, this is actually going to work, we're going to be good, and then the state kind of was or the city, I guess. The city was the one who shut it down. So
it's interesting because this was the biggest one they've had in years.
Yeah,
and it kept on growing every year, and the guest list was phenomenal. It's all the who's who of paranormal, and it's just like, no, you're not going this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, well. So
I think it was the fact that they estimated thousands of people was going to be passing through there.
That's
so
exactly why versus smaller groups. Yeah. So what? That's okay. Yeah. No biggie. But I'm trying to think of anything else I've seen recently. I mean, I'm fresh in the paranormal mode right now because of the whole Friday night investigation. We saw some fun stuff. I mean, stuff that I think the clients, without capturing actual evidence, just them witnessing things, I think really got them thinking, okay, because she was scared before we got there.
You could,
and she loosened up towards the end because she felt validated on some of the stuff we caught. One of them was a relative of theirs that the ashes we're talking about, and we were asking some questions, plain as day through the spirit ball. I just asked the question. I was like, "Do you recognize anybody in the room here?" Because we were trying to get some answers, some call and response. And the thing was a male spirit, and that's who the ashes were, was a male. And he goes, "I know too." And we're like, "Holy crap!" And they just, I think he went from to, "Oh my God, and they recognized the voice right away. It was that guy's voice."
That's awesome.
I think you were downstairs, weren't you?
I was downstairs. I was with Corey downstairs in the daughter's bedroom.
Right.
So I don't know if I got a chance to tell you or anything. So we were sitting in there, and right across the hall was the bathroom in the other bedroom, and not a very large hallway, but
no, just I
could see both rooms, the bathroom and the bedroom, and in the middle of the hallway we had the REM pod going. And so when we were sitting in there, I turned on the portal, and we got that going. And I was actually having to use, because I had my phone upstairs, so I was using Corey's phone. So she got the portal going and everything like that, and we had it going right away. I mean, first thing, because we were asking, is that you in the hallway that we keep seeing,
Sure.
And the REM pod would beep beep every time we asked.
Shadow detector.
And because I swear I kept seeing like a movement from one room to the other, and then just pacing back and forth, like they were wanting to come in. It just seemed like they were just kind of watching us, and every so often I'd ask a question, and you hear beep beep from the REM pod. So we got the portal going, and right off the bat, after asking so many times without it on, can you just communicate with us? Can you just come over here and just tell us what's going on? Right off the bat, the first word out of it was bullshit.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
You know, and then it called me a wuss like right away. I'm like, well, that's just why. I was down here by myself for the longest time, you know.
Yeah.
And then so we had the portal going, and finally I said, okay, I think I see you in the hall, you know, in the bathroom over there, pacing back and forth. Just come over here. Just come over here and talk to us, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as I say that, the REM pod goes nuts, as if something's coming toward it.
Right.
And then out of the portal, it says, I'm here.
Was that the female that time?
It was a female.
Yeah. Which is one thing, was one of the claims the owners had. They had a female, which we duplicated upstairs and downstairs almost at the same time, which was kind of weird because I think it struck me odd was that Jason mentioned how the good thing cussed at him right away when he turned on the portal.
Yeah.
Well, it did it
and
to
it was
us.
a male voice that said it.
Yeah, and it did it to us upstairs on the SB7 right about that same time, and it started cussing at us immediately, like the F-bomb and all that crap, and the owners laughed because they're like, that's how this guy was. He was a jokester, but he also was, you know, really let the colorful language fly, you know, and it's like, holy crap, that's interesting because
Right.
two different locations, two different devices were getting the same type of call and response, and
We were also
phenomenal.
seeing the shadow figure downstairs, too.
I saw it upstairs too. I saw
Did
a
you?
different one. Well, I chased one down the hallway, remember?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Because
That's right.
I just, which at the time I didn't know, because it was just the upstairs had like a long kind of it was a straight hallway, then it veered right towards the end of the hallway, and I saw what I thought was a shadow peeking across their head around the bend of the corner. So I take off running down that hallway and go to this back bedroom, which is one of the kids' bedrooms. And I looked around, I didn't see anything. I'm like, well, that's interesting. I came back, and I noticed on my left was a doorway there, right around the bend, almost right before the bend, should I say, is a doorway right there. And then it started dawning upon me a little bit more. I thought about it, like, hey, it wasn't around the bend; it was in that doorway you saw it. So I started talking to Jake, and he walked down there and duplicated it. He's like, okay, let's see what you saw, you know. He went around the bend. It didn't have the same definition. And then I go, we'll go in that room now. And he put his head in that room and did the same thing. The thing that was weird, Jake is a big dude. He's tall. But when he did the reenactment of the thing out of that door frame,
Mm-hmm.
it was same height and spot on.
Really?
Almost looked like the thing. It freaked me out from it. I'm like, yeah, that's it. Because it was shorter, and it was like he stuck his head up perfectly. I'm like, yeah, it was that room. So apparently I ran past this thing unbeknownst because I went down to the extra bedrooms, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, well, shoot. But then I come back, and the owner was like, you saw it where? I said, in that doorway was where I know I saw it,
Right.
compared to what the reenactment did. And she's like, oh my God. She goes, that's where I am every day during the week by myself, and I feel like I'm always getting watched. That's where she works out of. That's her
Watching
office
her
room.
ears are always ringing, like something's
Right.
like honing in on her.
Yeah, so it's like we were confirming little bits and pieces of it. And it happened again with Jake and you downstairs with the shadow.
Oh yeah. So I went downstairs because I happened to like look at my phone, which had each camera on it, and we had it. Corey had set it up so it's like had all 4 cameras in view.
Right.
So I just happened to kind of glance down, and the 2 cameras that are down there that shows the main living room and then down that hallway, it almost looked like there's movement down there.
Right.
Shadow or something, and it just caught my eye, so I ran downstairs, made it to the camera that's kind of facing down the hallway, and I'm looking down the hallway, looking around. I didn't see anything, and then Jake comes down. He has his flashlight in his hand.
Oh, that's right.
And everything, and I'm sorry, Jake, I gotta tell your story on this one.
Right.
So he has his flashlight and everything just so he can see down the stairs.
Right.
He puts the flashlight back in his pocket, or in his little holster that's like right here on his belt.
Yep.
And he's talking to me, and then he looks up at the sliding glass windows. He's like, holy shit.
Right.
You know, and he saw standing at the sliding glass window that's going into the backyard a full-fledged figure standing there. And as soon as he locked up, well, he couldn't see features. He could just see shoulders,
The outline,
arms.
right.
Yeah, like a shadow figure just standing there. As soon as he like made contact and as if the thing knew he was watching,
Right.
it turned and went.
It walked away.
It just
right.
walked away really
Out of
quickly.
frame, yep.
So at first we were thinking it was outside, so we went running over there, opened it up, went outside, and then nothing's there. The hot tub's there. It was nowhere to go. Even if you were a human, alive, you physically couldn't go anywhere in that direction. So,
you guys thought it was outside the door until
that was his feeling toward it, was that. So we go, so we go back inside a little bit, and we're gonna go upstairs, and that's when he reaches for his flashlight and he goes, "Where's my flashlight?" He's like, "It's usually right here in this holster." He's like, "I used it coming down, I put it away." He's like, "Where the hell's my flashlight?"
Yeah.
So we go upstairs, talking to you guys. You guys are having activity and everything, but we're looking around for his flashlight.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, it has to be downstairs. Maybe you dropped it. He goes, "No, I put it in my holster." We went back downstairs, looked around, looked in the couch, wherever he was kind of close to.
Right.
Couldn't find it. So that's when he goes back there to the back bedroom, where he was having a one-on-one EVP session and was getting actual stuff coming through the box.
Right.
And he was doing dowsing rods down there himself.
Yeah.
He was getting some great...
At a different time.
At a different time.
Not
at a different time.
time.
No. It's where he was at one point prior to us going back down and everything.
Right.
So he was getting some great interactions with whoever was down there. So he walks back there to see, well, maybe I did leave it, And he's like, no, because I had it in my hand.
Yeah.
So he goes back there just to kind of check. Well, why not? And there it was, sitting straight up and down on the bedstand.
Yeah. Up.
Right. Perfect.
Yeah. Straight
up and down,
yeah.
as if it just was placed.
Yeah.
For him, back there, almost as if like saying, "Hey, please come back."
Which was the same bedroom you were in, weren't you, with the shadow and what you're talking about, the REM pod going off. Something about that back bedroom. We had some good activity when we first turned on the cameras back there too.
Right.
But then you guys come upstairs and tell us more about the shadow person. So and we decided let's take a break real quick.
Yeah.
And so I go downstairs because my drink was down in that same area you guys were talking about. I come down and it's pitch black. I can barely walk down the stairs. Making sure I don't fall down the stairs. And I turn the corner to go down to that bottom landing to where the basement is, and I see a shadow person almost the size of, like, you think about Bigfoot, how big it is, and a burly whatever. I was like, oh shit, there's somebody standing there, and it threw me off there because the only person
it's like the size of Jake almost. But
I was ready to say that the only person that tall is Jake, and he was upstairs behind me.
From what you saw to what he said was between my height and his height.
Yeah.
So
it startled me for a minute there. I'm like, oh. I wasn't expecting to see that. I was like, okay, because it was dirty dark, but it was dark right there. And I'm like, oh, Jesus, I can see the outline of this person. So I put the light on, and instantly it's gone. I'm like, okay, maybe it's just whatever. I walk in that. So I started to think, and that's when you came down, and I started asking you about the shadow person.
Right.
You guys just saw maybe like 10 minutes before that. And you were showing us, Corey came down right behind you.
Mm-hmm.
You were showing us what it looked like and, whatnot, and...
Yeah, because I went outside on the patio, closed the door a little bit so you can still hear me, though. And I stood exactly where you saw it, and then I kind of turned and walked off. Yeah. But I took like a step before I ran into the
And where I was
tub.
in the room, because I come around, you have to go around like this little small you go around this wall, whatever, to get in that main area. And I was looking, I could see you perfect where I was squatted down on the
outside
when you were doing that enactment, and you came inside, and I go, wait a minute. Do me a favor, do it from the inside. So you do that, and you were more defined. Well, then we went and got Jake, I think, or he came down right after that. And I was like, hey, I think it was in the room.
Because I went outside, and he's like, well...
Because we stood in the same spot. He was standing, and I stood right next to him. I couldn't hardly see you. I could kind of see something.
Yeah.
But then when you came back inside the room and reenacted it again, in the dark again...
So
he's like, yeah, that's definitely it. So we found out it was in the room with you guys.
Which makes sense. Yeah, my theory is that when we ran over there, whatever it was came back around and pickpocketed his flashlight and took it back. Because something happened to his flashlight right out of his holster.
The person that the ashes were was quite the jokester.
Very true.
I mean, who knows if that's the person. Very true. Well, and what made it weird and convincing was the night before we were there. We were there, Friday night? They were in the hot tub outside below in that same area you guys were.
Yeah.
Thursday night. And they heard some rustling above on the top deck, and they looked up, and the husband saw a shadow person up there, which is weird. And I
was
think
blocking out each little
the
hole
rung.
of the deck.
Yeah.
And was walking back. And
Enough to where they just like, holy shit, somebody's up there, you know.
Yeah.
Because at first they go, oh, it's the dogs, and then the owner's like, no, the dogs are right there in the bottom of the basement in the
Yeah. They got the two.
Yeah, the Boston Terriers.
Yeah.
And so they saw maybe the same shadow person or a shadow person. Yeah, that it was enough to scare the crap out of them. And we kept seeing shadow people. I mean, multiple times. Now I don't know if what I saw down the basement was the same thing upstairs. I don't know. I can't tell.
Could it be?
Little.
Could it be something that is like terrorizing the neighborhood?
Well, I think, and this is my own personal take on it, because she told us, should I say, that she had talked to a medium, I think at the old house when she was younger, or something like that.
She was about 16, 17 years old.
She talked to somebody who they tried to come and stay at their house because they used to see things when she was a younger girl.
Right.
And the medium had told her there was somebody attached to her, a female. I'm thinking what I saw was a female in that room, the office, and then we saw the male possibly that was the ashes. Because we got a male and a female in both locations, upstairs, downstairs.
Right.
And we got the voices. We were hearing them both audibly and also on through Spirit Box and whatnot. So I'm thinking we validated their claims pretty well. I mean, so far without even having physical evidence, like with our recorders and our cameras that were set up that night, we still have to go over those.
Right.
I think we caught some good stuff.
I can't wait.
At least, the experiences they had to witness firsthand with their eyes with us. I think it opened up their mind, like, okay, I'm not as crazy as I think I am. It's really happening. So that was fun. Hopefully we can get some more stuff going on and find out if that is the case. Hopefully we caught what we thought we caught, because we were hearing like all kinds of audible responses, and they caught some stuff without us even being there. They caught the name of their child, which really freaked her out because
she had that on recording.
Yeah. Because she decided to get a little antsy, and she was like, "I'm gonna try something." And somebody had told her, "There's a couple apps out there you can use," and she found one. And then she was asking us when we first got there. She's like, "How good are these?" I'm like, "Well, I mean, it depends what you have, because some of them are novelty items. Some of them do what they're supposed to do." And
I like the Portal. You know, it's like one of my favorites.
But that's only an Android thing.
I know.
iPhone don't have it. That's why I'm gonna use one Spirit Box on there, and it wasn't the one she used. I found out. I looked at it. I listened to the recording again today, and I was like, "Oh, that's not the one I used." I had that one she had, and I wasn't too impressed with it. But what she caught wasn't through the app. It was in the room with her. Remember, because the app had a more mechanical sound kind of thing.
It did. Yeah.
And what she caught was an actual gravelly whisper, real gruff, and she thought it freaked her out. She was scared. But I think it was just
we laughed, but
oh yeah, it doesn't say. You could even tell us to go to hell, and whatever. We would laugh at it. We'd laugh at The Exorcist, the spinning head throwing up on us, and and we'd laugh. But that's just how we are. We're not the sanest people.
I would have just been like, "That's awesome! Did you get it on camera?"
Yeah. Can I see it? Because can she do it again? She's still here. Kind of a thing. Because we're insane. I think most of the time.
Yeah.
I always tell people most sane people run away from the danger. We run towards it all the time, which is weird. I don't know what possesses us to do that, but.
Because we want the truth. We want to find out the actual thing.
Yeah.
I'm tired of the naysayers, and I'm tired of
I personally
made up stuff.
The made up stuff I hate, but I don't care what people say. I mean, and I always tell everybody, because people are always like real, when they first meet you, like real skittish. They know what we do and stuff. They're like, they want to fill this out. Do you really believe in what you do? And I'm like, and I always say the same thing every time. I'm not here to tell you ghosts are real or not real. I'm not here to try to persuade you anyway. I just know what I've seen and experienced. That's all I'll tell you. And I have documented evidence physically, as far as pictures, audio, video, you name it. We capture some things. So, I mean, I can tell you 100%. I'll take a lie detector test if you want me to do it. If it makes you sleep at night, the person doesn't believe us, that we didn't fake any evidence. Everything we caught is undoctored as is. So be it. I mean, if you want to believe, if you don't believe us, that's fine too. So be it. I mean, but we've seen some. That's what I was telling you. We've been pretty fortunate to see some stuff that's crazy. I mean,
I've had a lot of stuff happen that I can't explain.
Yeah, I mean, what? Okay, well, I asked you this before. What is something that you've seen, experienced that you like couldn't believe you actually were witnessing this or experiencing this? I already have one off the top of my head.
So I mean, I have several.
Sure.
Several. You know, the whole in the murder house, we call it a murder house. I
Yeah.
call it a murder house.
Yeah, I understand about.
You know, the tote move in and the door slamming on me and everything like that. That always got me. The incident at 20th Century Murdoch,
Okay.
where I was walking down the stairs and something grabbed my shoulder and yanked me backwards, and just to turn around to see that no one was there.
Mm-hmm.
That was insane. To when we were doing the patty house, you know, and
Oh, I was like, which was the patty house? Have we been to some? Like, which one? I know what you're talking
the
about.
patty house,
Yeah.
and you were focusing on the far back room, and looking back there, you could see eye shine of something.
Oh yeah.
You know, two eyes looking back at us, and it was kind of pacing back and forth. And then as we head back there, you know, it disappears. One of the, I think for me, one of the greatest moments was, not to bring it up again, but Tahlequah.
Never heard of it.
One of the last times we were there, and we had a lot of activity going on and everything like that, but we were sitting by the campfire, and I'm standing there, and we're all just sitting there. You guys are all just sitting there. I'm standing because I'm drinking a soda and just trying to keep, you know, awake and everything.
Right.
When I happen to glance up at the house that's livable, and it has that light pole that's out there,
Yep,
you know,
right.
not far from it. And then between us and that, there's trees
yeah.
as well. But you have a clear view of the house.
Mm-hmm.
And from all the visits we've had and all the activity of the yells, the screams, the footprints, and everything we've had that determined that it was, like, most likely Sasquatch.
Yeah.
I look up and I'm staring at the house, and rounding the corner was this huge black figure, and the light catches it, so I see it, and it's just walking toward our direction
Mm-hmm.
and everything.
Right.
So I'm smacking Brendan and everything like that, and
The original Sasquatch.
you know, and I'm like pretty much like, let's go, you know, and so I head off that way. I don't know if you followed me either.
I think I came behind you, yeah. Because I
So
was like, what's going on? 'Cause I
You
wanna
got the
see
three
some
of us running over there and
Yeah.
everything, and I think Jeremiah came too.
I think we all did pretty much.
And
yeah.
I'm like, I heard, and then I got over there with Brendan, and we could hear going down the embankment crashing,
Right.
like something going through the brush and just running
Yeah. And these.
or jumping or whatever it's doing.
Yeah.
But I saw that figure walking. I can still imagine. I can still see the figure walking in my
yeah.
mind right now.
Yeah, and we talk about it, and I know you had to take our word for it if you've never been there, which nobody probably will ever get to go there, unfortunately. But these bluffs he's talking about, the embankments are 30 to 40 feet straight drops. Because we're on the Ozark Mountains. I mean, the start of the Ozark Mountains, and
Yeah.
there's cliffs and stuff, and the house sits up on there's only one road to get in there and one way out, and you know, it is what it is. I mean,
And at night, it's hell to go hiking back there.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the embankments, to the brush, to the trees with gigantic freaking thorns and everything out there.
we have to go to get to this back area, even further back with the caves and stuff. We have to go through over barbed wire fence.
Right.
We have to go down the side of a mountain and trees, thickets, you know, and where Jason always gets his famous, ticks. And I mean,
Every single time.
because we're on the ground, we're over the ground, and we're climbing over the logs
I'm
to
always-
get through past the water. You know, it's
For me,
it's a trick.
For you guys are like pushing the barbed wire fence down and just stepping
Yeah.
over, and I'm like, I can't do that. My legs are not going to reach that, you know. So here I am. You guys are pulling it up, and I'm crawling under, and you know, I always end up getting ticks on me and shit.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, the first time I ever went there, a long time ago, I had jeans on because it was cold and it was night. We tried to go down to the freaking caves in the middle of the night, and I ended up luckily just tore my jeans right in the crotch. I didn't take any, you know, damage there, but I actually tore my jeans. I'm like, oh shit, I got stuck on the barbed wire. So it's not easy to get across.
No,
you know,
no.
I'm not the tallest person, but I'm also not like Jason's height, unfortunately.
yeah.
So I can imagine the struggles you have.
Because my dad and Jeremiah are like pushing it down
Yeah.
and everything. I'm like, what in our history makes you think I can actually do that? That I'm actually going to safely
Right.
cross over that? I can't do it.
Well, let's go kind of give people some audio and some video, not video, but some visual stuff that what you just talked about. Let's I do have the famous tote thing when Jason's talking about in the thing at the murder house. He's talking about where it's him and Claire, and I don't know if anybody else is there.
Brendan.
Guys. Brendan was in there too. I'm gonna hear you guys talking on there. I wasn't there.
Brendan was just standing around taking photographs.
Okay.
He had his big camera.
Okay.
And he was taking photographs, but he was, more than happy to laugh at me.
Oh yeah, because you were
Yeah.
new, weren't you? Brand
Yeah.
new. Yeah. That's your
Yeah,
first,
I was.
Was that your first one
It wasn't my first
with
one,
the group?
but it was my first time with the group in a place that had a murder, that had like a very significant
Sure.
happening there. And so the whole time I'm in the house, I just keep having that Dateline theory going in my head. I'm picturing it. I'm picturing how the murder happened.
Yeah.
And because they told me the story ahead
Sure.
of time, not the team, but the people living there and all
Right,
that stuff.
right.
So,
Yeah. So let's play the infamous. This is the audio clip.
oh shit.
This is the tote thing moving right next to the tub. I think I hope this is the right clip. I haven't listened to it in a long time because I wasn't there, so I'm just going for what's labeled.
Yeah,
So-
Leo wasn't even part of the team yet.
No, before I was even a thought. It wasn't very much longer. This says June 18th,
Right.
and I joined in September. Renee and I did.
Yeah.
So okay, so we're gonna play that real quick here, and we'll see what it sounds like.
Tell me, what do you think of this family that's in here now?
Just a second. Let me find a better clip because this one, I don't think it's very well. People at home, we can't hear it very well here.
Yeah.
There's two versions of this clip. Let me find the better of the two, because I think, and if you guys were hearing, I apologize. Better than we were. We couldn't hear it very well because there was I think a couple recorders caught this. This one's the one that Claire had on her, so let me put this one. Maybe this might be louder. We'll try it again here.
Tell me, what do you think of this family that's in here now? Are you sure you're not moving?
I'm not moving.
Positive.
I'm positive.
Can I see the light, please? It sounds like something keeps moving. And I don't know what it is.
I'm gonna shoot a few pictures here.
Okay, here you go. Thank you.
Fuck.
Was that you?
No, I was completely still here. Alright, here they go.
Okay, so that loud bang was the tub moving, wasn't it?
It was. So we're in a.
hang on.
We're in the. Huh?
Sorry. Try it again. My
So,
bad.
so that clip there was Claire and I and Brendan. Claire and I were on opposite side of the blood stain that's in the concrete, where the
Where the murderer drugged the victim downstairs, left her there to die after stabbing her, and then poured bleach on her.
Yeah, because he saw it in the movie.
Yeah.
So the current owner at the time was renting out the place.
Mm-hmm.
Unbeknownst to her, that she was renting out the place to the mother of the victim.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
didn't
So
know that.
and so the renter did not know about the stories or anything because she just freshly moved into town, moved into the house, and she had her kids. She was a single mom, and downstairs, her kids would never spend the entire night. They would always end up upstairs or something like that, on the couch or in her room or something. But they turned that utility room. It's where the washer and the dryer is, and the half of the room they turned into a toy room. But the concrete where the heater and all that stuff, and the hot water tank and all that, there's this red stain that they tried scrubbing it up and everything because she didn't like it.
Right.
It just looked tacky, like somebody spilled red paint or something, So
Yeah.
and it would always eventually come back.
Yeah, it's
And
it's like
everything.
the protein, whatever it is.
That's
in
what
the
Jeremiah
blood.
said.
Yeah,
He said it's
it
protein
seeps,
in the blood.
It seeps up and it's hard to get out.
Because she laid there for 3 days before they actually found her.
That's terrible.
So I'm kind of facing the doorways off to my left, and Claire's in front of me. Brendan is behind her, kind of around the toy area, just snapping photographs, and he kept stepping in the doorway and taking photographs of the main room, living room down there. But there's all these blue totes that have all these toys in them and everything like that. And I had just gotten done, because I was quiet all night long. I was just replaying everything. Everything was very surreal to me.
Oh, yeah.
Being in a house that a murder had just happened only a few years prior.
Right.
It was still pretty fresh.
Yeah.
Especially when there's a blood stain still on the concrete.
Right.
And, Ben was there, and him and I kept hearing stuff.
Right.
That night, too. Upstairs would sound like a commotion inside the kitchen.
Yep.
We were thinking, well, damn, is that the actual attack happening?
Right.
That just keeps replaying itself. Who knows? So when they asked me, Jason, you speak up. Claire's like, you can talk. Speak up.
Right.
Ask some questions, Jason. Don't let it just be me or Brendan. And I'm like, okay. So knowing that the victim was also selling drugs on the side,
Right.
in my mind, the first things out of my mouth was, hey, are you proud of what you did to other people? Did you ever consider how many people you hurt while you were doing everything? Because apparently she was cutting the drugs wrong and mixing it with aspirin
right.
and different things and giving people some bad trips. So my thought process is well, yes, it's shitty what happened to you, but you weren't that good of a person either. So did you ever feel remorse about that? And it was about that time when stuff started to kind of move in the room and stuff like that. And as you can hear in that, she kept, saying, oh, hey, are you moving? Is that? And so no, when that tote moved, it slid away from me, and I was probably a good 1.5 to 2 feet away from it, and it slammed up against the wall.
It's crazy. I know your reaction was like, holy crap.
Oh, I said the F word.
Yeah. We've played some of these before. I'll play a couple more, and I hate to bring up, I'm not trying to glorify the murder.
Right.
But we've actually caught some of the stuff that sounds.
It was a very unique case.
It was.
It sucks because the person that was renting the home, she wasn't told about this stuff.
Right. And
So here she
you
was.
Don't ask, you don't know.
She was freaked out about
Right.
what was happening. So you know what? We caught it.
Exactly.
So be it. We helped her figure out what in the hell was happening.
I got to sneeze. Hang on. I apologize. Maybe I'll be all right. Now, there was this recorder. That was in the basement, the family room basement. That tub incident happened.
Yeah.
And Claire had a recorder
Back
with
in
her.
the utility room area.
Is that where it was? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just taking it for what it's labeled, so you know more than I would.
That's where
yeah.
that's where the totes were.
Gotcha.
Then you step outside of that
That's the
door.
family
That's
room?
the door, the famous door that shut on me.
Oh, right.
Which I have no recording on it because I was.
I think there might be one. I'll have to find it.
Oh God, there is.
Yeah.
There is, because I cursed again and I turned around and
Yeah.
apologized to the recorder for.
Yeah, I'll
for-
find out here in just a second.
Yeah.
One thing we have was a recorder that was up stationary, up in the kitchen where the actual initial attack happened,
Yeah.
and then she was right down the stairs.
Yeah.
We caught a couple of EVPs up there that sounded like the struggle was happening, like Jason was talking about, and this is one where we think we caught her voice, possibly,
Ah.
and
Wow.
we'll just play it and you be the judge of it. That one's real low. Let me play a different one real quick. those are real low. They're hard to hear. I hope you guys heard them better than we could. It was hard for us to even hear and hear. You heard them talking over the walkies and stuff, the group at the time, and it was just a quick help. But I thought there was a better clip. I need to find it. I apologize. I should have. This caught me. I wasn't expecting to talk about this case. I'd been better prepared.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Oh shoot, do I have that with Jason with the door getting stuck? 'Cause he does freak out. I have to find it. I don't have it. I don't think because there was a couple of things.
Thank God.
Oh, I'm gonna find one. Just kidding.
No, that was my first real time having an object actually move and scare the crap out of me to the point because I was by myself in the basement, in the same area where the tote moved.
Mm-hmm.
But this was the first time that I freaked out. Yeah, because I already had the recorder going, and I put it on, because she told me to go downstairs, put the recorder above my favorite tote. So I had it on. She turned it on. I took it downstairs. I'm like, all right. And I put it over the tote, and sure enough,
Your favorite tote.
I
Don't know where.
But I always check the doors. Everywhere I go, I'm always checking doors, making sure they're not gonna, just purpose. Some doors, you barely brush by and they'll start to close.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want that false feeling of it, so I always, kind of push on the door, make sure it's not gonna just move just because I bump it or something. So I do that everywhere I go, and I did that down there, and the carpet was so thick, you had to actually grab the door and swing it, all the way to close it. And nobody was down there with me. Not a soul. I heard Brendan and Ben and Claire upstairs putting in batteries and doing everything.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they were just calmly talking, putting the gear together, getting the camera set up, and doing everything. I was down by myself. Nobody was there.
I wish you could find.
Because I went flying through that door as soon as it happened. So.
Yeah, especially if you're newer to the team still at the time. And
I opened the door, took 2 steps forward, and I'm looking around. Nobody there.
I can't find. God, I wish I'd been. Like I said, I wish I'd known we were going to talk about this stuff. I would have grabbed it.
We can always move on.
Nope, can't.
Nope, we've got other topics.
We do.
Yeah.
Okay then. Let's see real quick here. I was gonna see if I can find something real fast, but I don't see it. So we'll move on, I guess.
Because we can always bring up this again.
Nope.
Especially since we've got permission. We've got permission to go into the house once again.
Well,
so.
Again, only you had been there.
Well, for me, once again.
Yeah, for the rest of us, it's gonna be the first time. I bet you I know I can't find it. Nope. Oh well, whatever. I was gonna say. I forgot what I was gonna say. Well, I was talking about just one of my famous favorite ones was for myself was the time we talked. The whole point of this conversation we were having was what's something that you never thought you would see or have experienced. That was the topic at hand. But mine was infamous getting shoved from in Dodge. I must have no, not that one.
No,
in Granola.
Oh, yeah.
When I was not taunting, but I was getting a little bit more stern with the thing in the corner. I could see that I want to call it a guy, was pacing back and forth in front of the parent store, just angrily, just pissed off that we're there. I kept saying, I know you're a secret, I know who you are, whatever, just kind of getting a little bit more edgy with this thing, and then something comes up from behind me and just shoves myself and Jamie, and Claire was between us, remember? Enough that you heard Jamie and Claire scream. I think it was Jamie that screamed out loud. And that's the infamous girl, with the Don't Cry Mommy.
Right.
I don't know if I have that. I shouldn't even bring it up because I don't know if I have it. I mean, I have it. I just got to find it real fast. But that was the thing. I've never thought I'd ever be shoved. And it caught me off guard. I ain't going to lie. I was just like, oh, what the hell just happened? Because I was not expecting that to go down that way, and it did. Of course, now, really? Oh, there it goes. I was trying to get it queued up if I could find it, and then my computer crashed. Let me look real quick here. I'm trying to find it real fast, sorry. Say something clever, Jason.
Tick, 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 tick. While you look for that, I'll tell another one.
Go ahead.
The Forum Theater. We were doing a public event.
Yeah.
And it was Claire and I, and my buddy Jeff. We were in the office down in the basement where the infamous scream happened that Brendan caught. So we're sitting in there, and we're hearing all kinds of stuff going on in there. File cabinets closing on themselves and everything. So finally, I stood up. I'm holding the cell sensor, and it had like that apparatus that kind of came out from it.
Right.
You know.
Oh yeah.
Which y'all called the probe all the time.
Anal probe, yes.
Yeah, the probe. So I've got that, and I'm holding it out, and I'm asking questions, and I finally was just kind of like directing everything toward whoever the pastor was.
Right.
You know, and I kept saying, and this is all on recording, and I think even this was even
I do have
the
that
Eagle had put it in the paper.
Right.
So on their website and everything, where you could actually listen to it.
Yep.
So I'm asking questions to the pastor. I said, I know who you are. I know what you've done.
Yeah.
Should I go up to your office? You seem to be very protective about it. Do you want me to go up there? You know, I said, come closer if that's who you are. Because if you come closer, I will, not go up there.
Right.
And the cell sensor just went crazy, beeping as fast as it could, meaning something was coming closer and changing the atmosphere around it. And I said, okay, back off, and it stopped. I said, now, if you are at all a female that's in the room with us because of the scream and the crying that is heard down there, I said, come closer.
Right.
Nothing happened. I said, all right. I said, is that you, Ernest? Is that you?
Yeah.
Come closer. One more time. And nothing. And I said, all right, if you don't come closer, I'm going to head up to the office right now. Because you're hiding something, and I want to find out what it is. And it just started going off again. Then it went silent. And that's when you hear the footsteps running up the stairs.
Right.
Just right outside the room.
Yep.
So we radioed to everybody. I said, hey, is anybody running on the stairs anywhere? And everyone's like, no, we have everybody in our groups stationed everywhere where we are.
Yep.
I was like, then what the hell was that?
I couldn't find the clip from Granola. I'll have to find it for a different episode when we can kind of dive into the case. But I do have the cell sensor one Jason is talking about right here. Apologize because I think you dropped the F-bomb on here. Was it you or was it somebody else?
That was probably my buddy Jeff.
Okay, somebody says chicken shit is what it says.
Oh, that's Jeff.
Okay,
That's
so I'll
Jeff.
play that real quick here. This is the cell sensor. The thing is, and I know Jake had a cell sensor at one time that he gave away because he thought this is a piece of crap.
Right. It's not the same. It's kind of the same, but this had like a.
It's called the probe, whatever. You plug it in directly to it, and it has like a sensor that you can walk around, kind of like an EMF thing. But of course, you got to certain things, it would beep faster.
Right.
And they're asking the pastor or whoever to come in closer, whatever that they thought that was like Jason said was molesting something possibly.
I was asking. I think Claire's asking, and so
yeah. So we'll just play that clip here. This is it, and the thing you notice as it gets closer to the sensor, it beeps faster. So like Jason said, so we'll play that real quick here.
I know the history of this place. I've heard the bad things.
Go closer to him. Now even closer.
I think that's her.
If that's the woman, step back. Make it stop. If you're earnest, make it go crazy. There you go. You got
Back up to 3.
your answer.
Why don't you come over here and mess with me? Chicken. Sorry. In a church. Chair.
And it's done.
We were laughing because Jeff was like, his buddy Jeff was like, chicken shit. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm in a church.
But he also says chair. That was a chair because he kept going. Every so often he'd hear something in the room. He goes, because we told everybody to tag it if you make a noise, You'd hear a noise in the in the room, and he'd go, "Sorry, gas." So every so often you hear gas.
Yeah.
you know.
It's funny because Jeff looks a little bit like Dan.
Yeah.
I mean, bald, goatee, and similar. That's why
They're very similar.
Yeah, but it's just funny to hear Jeff. I met him a couple times, along the way throughout. He's been through a couple of our investigations, even as far as Dodge and stuff too.
Yeah,
yeah. Back in the days, that's the time we got to go investigate the which now is Boot Hill Distillery.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was the old city offices and former fireplace. Fire department
and police station.
Yeah. So, but yeah, he was there for that too. But yeah, you can see he. Sometimes you get swept up in the the emotion. It's like because especially at the time, I remember when I first started going to the forum, everybody thought that the pastor was abusing kids. Like sexually. That was a story that somebody came up with along the way, which wasn't true.
Yeah, it wasn't true. The medium that came in with the Miller group,
that's
Misty.
Right. A long time ago. Yeah.
She felt that was happening, but she never gave a name.
Well, she never also said it was abuse. She said abuse. I think it was more like a discipline because right next outside the pastor's office, which had been the principal at the time, of sorts, was a small little closet area.
Concrete inside.
I think he would just punish you by saying, okay, you're in trouble going there by yourself. Because, those are different times. We're talking about the 20s and 30s.
She did say she couldn't stand seeing what he's doing to him. And she said, nope, I'm not going, that's enough. I can't see
But she didn't physically go in there to look.
She did not go in and say anything. And so I don't know where anybody else got the idea that he was sexually molesting them.
Well, I think over the years, it's that whole game where if I tell you one thing in your ear, you tell the next person, you tell the next person, next thing you know, it's blown out to something that was never the original thing.
And so I started thinking that, and so on our team chat line, we all got into it big, bitch mode, where I kept saying there's no proof of it. So we cannot blame some guy who's dead. That he did this when there's no proof. There's nobody ever said that this happened.
Well, and the thing that was so mystery behind it was the fact that we could never find any evidence of anything as far as documentation on this guy or the church.
Right.
It's just like all we could find out was the church was built in 26, finished by 30 or 20 something, 29 I think it was, and then he left in 33 maybe.
He was the first pastor.
Yeah.
He asked to be removed.
Yeah.
They denied him. They gave him a secretary. Became president of some pastor or priest.
Right.
Statehood, whatever, there in town in Wichita.
Yeah.
And then he stepped down and left.
See, and that's not the story that we were told initially. Yeah. And over the years, we found out more. I was told he was a pastor there. He abused children, sexually molested them. Basically, he was there, and then all of a sudden, the church asked him to leave, but they didn't say why. He just all of a sudden up and left, and it was it added to the mystery behind, or the theory behind that he was molesting kids and whatnot because of the medium and stuff. That said.
Well, I was there the night the medium was there.
Right.
I tried to tell him that.
Yeah.
And I was not listened to.
Yeah.
So for that.
But yeah.
Then we got the records actually from Janet and Grant.
Right.
That actually showed, the timeline of events for him.
Yeah. And the more we were there too, I even felt, I was like, that's not the true story. You could just feel it.
Right.
And I felt kind of bad for even taunting him that way initially.
Exactly.
And I changed my tune along the way. And, I mean, I just felt that, I felt there was punishment because that was the time. That's back when the nuns could hit you with a ruler on your hand for misbehaving and whatnot. And that's the type of punishment I have seen.
And it was a former Baptist church. So I think it did go to Catholic at one time.
It was Christian.
And then, or Christian.
Yeah.
But yeah, that pastor, Ernest,
went
off to Louisiana and died in Shreveport.
Died in 65, I want to say.
Yeah.
And was buried in his hometown, or in the state of Illinois.
But he's still seen inside the church.
I actually saw him. I mean, before I knew what the guy looked like or knew more of the story, because this goes back to Tahlequah. I remember it clear as day. Because one time we were in the building, and I looked up and I saw I think it was during the reveal or somewhere. Oh, shit. I about slipped and fell. I saw a thin man, kind of like white shirt, tie, glasses, real thin and kind of gangly looking, with kind of like a comb over hair a little bit style. I looked at him and he was just staring down at us, like not really snarling at us, but just kind of like looking at us
Right.
like in disgust and like, why are you freaking here? You know, kind of angrily, but didn't
Right.
say anything. Just his arms crossed, just staring down at us. Well, then the thing I bring up about Tahlequah, I don't remember when that was in relation to when we went to Tahlequah. Probably about maybe 6 to 7 months later. We're driving down to Tahlequah, and I remember Brendan popping, because it was Jeremiah, myself, and Brendan rode in our one car by yourself while your dad and I think, or you
Yeah.
drove.
I was there. Yeah, I
You
remember
drove
when,
separately your dad's truck, but I don't know if your dad went that trip or not.
because I
drove-
want
you
to say
drove that
that
truck.
I'm the one that got that from Janet, and I gave it to Brendan.
Oh, did you? Well, he had it in the car with us.
Yeah,
He's
because
like,
he was looking through it and
Yes,
everything.
I got
Because he
something to
was
show
like,
you.
yeah, he was like,
And I went through and he pulled up this picture and it's in front of the steps. And I seen the class, and then you see this guy here, and I'm like,
yeah.
holy shit, that's the dude I saw. I go, is that Ernest? He goes, yep. I'm like, no freaking way, because that's the exact guy I saw. And it blew my freaking mind.
And what was strange about that photograph, and I'm going to try my best to try and get that photograph. I don't know if
I don't know who has it, do you? I thought you had it.
I
didn't you?
thought I had it, but
Uh-huh.
I've moved so many times since
Yeah.
and everything.
Twice.
I'm gonna try and get to
Yeah.
reach out to Janet and see if she still has a copy.
Yeah.
She could just snap a photograph of it,
Sure.
send it to me.
What was that? I thought that was you.
Nope.
Oh,
It's a high pitched noise.
yeah, I heard it.
But the significance about that photograph of him
Uh-huh.
is he's on the
In the bottom step.
he's on the north side of the steps.
Yeah.
You know, because
Right.
the church that we're talking about is at Douglas and Hillside
I'll
in
put the
Wichita.
picture up here. I'll find the picture
We
of it.
we talk about it every so often.
Yeah, it's one of our
in the
one of our
photograph.
favorite cases.
So they're at the steps, kind of facing Hillside there. He's on the north side of the step, because Hillside goes north and south. So he's
Mhm.
on the north side of the steps, standing there, and he's tall as can be. And all the children of that class or whatever are lined up amongst all the steps.
Right.
And then there's another teacher on the far end. Well, where he's located and standing at the steps, kind of,
Right
he's
by
kind of like
Jason's
right
hand.
here.
That's where he'd be standing.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and then all the students were all lined up. I mean, they had everything,
Right.
everyone up there. But it's the child that's next to him
Right. I remember that.
is
now.
the only one that's not looking forward. He's looking up at him like this in a kind of a
Yeah,
weird
That
way.
is true.
And he's just standing there as tall as can be and all as mighty. You know, I don't know anything about him. I think he went off to be a pastor at another church
He
in,
did.
in Shreveport and
Yeah.
passed away.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, that child in the photograph, something,
He's had like he's
a weird look, and he's
Yeah.
kind of like looking up at him like kind of angrily.
yeah,
It's like-
or like doesn't want to be next to the,
Yeah.
to that guy, whatever. But the guy,
or maybe
yeah,
he was just the troublemaker and he made him stand next to him.
could be. Could
you
be,
know.
Yeah. But yeah, no. It like I said, the more we found out, more actual concrete evidence about the guy, and found out he had a house 2 blocks over practically from the church that we never knew about until after the
Nope.
fact. After we quit going there.
See,
Yeah.
my theory of it all is he wanted out. He wanted to move.
Sure.
They tried not to let him go.
Right.
Finally did. The pastor that comes in after him, he's the one that doesn't have any records that the church kept
Uh-huh.
of him leaving. He's there for like a year or two and then gone. And
Right.
in comes the next.
Right.
Whereas everyone else, when you were reading the records on this place, the church had so and so started their service time here, and then they had to depart, and they had a ceremony for say goodbye. But that second pastor, there's nothing like
Yeah.
that. It's just abrupt, gone.
Yeah.
And he's the one who ended up getting a house built right where the parking lot is, kind
Yeah.
of where the classrooms were.
Mhm.
He had a house right there and everything on the property.
Really?
That was his.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like he was catered to,
Oh, I didn't know that.
almost in a way, and then
Yeah.
abruptly gone.
Interesting.
So I wonder if Ernest is just,
Got caught in the crossfire kind of a thing.
or maybe he's there because he feels guilty because he left and
Oh,
left everybody
the kids.
in the hands of this
Gotcha.
jerk
Yeah.
that took over his place.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, because Ernest's house is still there. I
Yeah,
drove
people-
past it. Once
people
I
live in
found the address, I'm like, okay, it's literally, you go down the street in front of
Yeah.
the building and then take a left. I think it's like 2 houses down. 2 blocks over, yeah. So
It's a crazy story.
It is.
I'm gonna reach out to Janet and
yeah.
get some stuff from her.
Yeah, because
I want to show you guys. You know,
Yeah,
you guys
yeah.
haven't seen it. You haven't seen it in a long time.
What's
Nobody else has seen his picture
oh yeah,
and everything. So,
oh, I still see it up here. I know,
Oh, me
I know,
too.
I know exactly what it looks like.
but see, what was
Yeah.
crazy was I didn't really even tell Larry about
Hmm.
this guy.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he'd heard the stories, but I never
Sure.
showed him a picture of him or anything like that. And I think I
Right.
did later. I did show him, but Larry would say that he would be driving down, and he'd always hear us talk about it, and him
yeah.
have been in there once or twice himself. You know,
Yeah.
he'd be driving past it, and he'd looked up. And one day, he looked up in the top window,
Which would be by his office. Yeah.
with not far from the office,
Yeah.
and he saw a gentleman standing and looking out the window,
Yeah.
looking north on hillsides, Douglas and all that. And he said it had a white shirt and tie, just very lanky guy, just standing there staring out.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit. So
Right.
I showed him a picture, and he goes, that's the guy. That's the one I saw.
Nice. That's crazy.
It is.
Yeah, like I said, towards the end, or very last few, I don't know how many investigations we did there, quite a few, but towards the end, is that you?
My chair.
Oh, okay, it's not like somebody's talking. Towards the end, I started to, that's when I was still trying to, hone my craft, I think everybody else has their gifts. It's like Santa Claus. Basically, I started to catch on, like, no, this story that we've been told this whole time has been wrong. And
Right.
I started to catch on and reason with the guy and figure out, okay. So I changed my whole approach to investigating there. I was like, and then the growls stopped,
I know.
which
Yeah.
is interesting. We used to get the loud growls there, and
It was like they were being,
like I think he was just pissed off that we were saying, you're calling me out, and it's wrong.
Right.
I mean, I think it's just him, like, ugh,
then it went to more peaceful and just hearing children.
just talking.
and just talking and stuff like that. Or
Yeah.
when, our last time there, the big slam, when you're like, just give us one more sign,
God damn.
do something and we'll get out of here.
Yeah.
And it was almost like a door slam, like, okay, you're
that
done.
was crazy in the sanctuary right
So
behind us. Yeah.
We left.
Yeah, I mean-
never back again.
No, I think you guys went. That's when you took Roth.
No.
And you also took Jeff, didn't you? Not Jeff.
No, my buddy Jay.
Jay. There you go.
Jay,
Yeah.
when I took Jay in there was the last time I had ever been in there.
But before that was Roth and you and
Ben, yeah.
I was supposed to go that night, and I was like, dude, it's shitty out. I'm not going.
Well, and it was like frickin' almost 1 o'clock in the morning
Yeah.
when we finally met up.
because that was the day we were supposed to go to. Of all things, we were supposed to go to Carnegie and Dodge. Remember? And the
Yeah.
ice storm happened. I'm like, dude, let's not travel because it's.
I was so
dangerous.
mad.
I know
I was
you
so
were.
mad
I know.
because I was ready for it and everything. But
Yeah.
yeah, I understood.
Yeah, and you said you guys went to the Forum Theater. You and Ben and Roth.
Yeah,
And I was like, you said, come on, let's go up there. I'm
Roth
like,
and
nah.
Roth
good.
in his moment of hearing, for one, a spirit laughed at me. You could hear the giggling and the
Yeah.
talking up there as I was telling a story about myself.
Right.
Heard that giggling up there, and I just kind of pointed and looked at Roth. I said, see, they've got a sense of humor.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
and it was a fun night. It was definitely a fun night.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm reading some of the things. Okay. Some of the comments. Yeah, just like I said, the story became more concrete
Excuse
from my eyes about what happened there towards the end, and I kind of would love to go back there. People keep saying, "Oh, should we go back to like Renee and them were saying it on there." I think.
Well, I
Andy.
wish to, but at
But
the
yeah.
same time,
It's hard. I mean, they contacted me, like I said, and
I keep coming close.
asked
There's
us for evidence, or not evidence, for
Yeah.
footage of what was there before, and I'm like,
I
it's a night vision,
Yeah.
and you have activity. You go in there, and they're like, nope, nothing's going on here. And I'm like, okay, well, then I don't have the evidence for you, or the footage.
Yeah.
Not the owners we worked with.
yeah.
The church that's there now that has some there. It's one of those. Not bad
Well-
church. It's a
Well, a church is a church, and they're just
Well,
being
but-
stuck up about the whole situation.
yeah.
But-
I
but-
almost guarantee shit's going on there.
Oh, I already know because there was
Yeah.
somebody last year
Right.
on the Wichita Ghost Tour. She was on board, and when we pulled up to the church, she goes, "Oh, I knew we were gonna come to this." And I was like, "Oh, why is that?" I was like, "You haven't been on this before." She goes, "No." She goes, "This is my church."
Oh, okay.
She goes, "My pastor said that you guys do a ghost tour, and this is one of the spots you guys talk about."
Interesting.
And I said, "Well, interesting. How about, anything going on?" She goes, "Oh, God, yes." She goes, "There's stuff that happens there all the time." So I started telling the stories and playing some of the audio, and she goes, "None of this surprises me."
Oh, cool.
And I guess her husband does security for the place too, and
Mhm.
has surveillance cameras up and stuff like that. And she goes, "Yeah, you'd be surprised on some of the stuff that's still going on.
Oh, I
It's not like
guarantee it.
she was like saying, well, we've got better.' No, she's like, it's still happening."
Oh, I guarantee it was, because just the stuff that we caught on to some of the stuff, the evidence.
Right.
I always called it, and people, and this is early on when I first started the group, or it was with, I didn't start the group. I was a part of the group early on. It's still an early part of my career with the group, and people always ask me, well, what's your favorite place to investigate? I'm like, the Forum Theater. It's the most haunted place in Wichita, I guarantee it. And
Yeah.
that was a bold statement, because Wichita's been around for ever, and
Yeah.
it has if you couldn't go in there and get some kind of activity, you weren't trying, or you didn't understand what was happening.
It was broad daylight when we were going over the evidence. It was Janet and Grant.
Right.
Ben and Claire had their computer up.
Yep.
They were taking turns listening through the audio. It had you, me, was Brendan there?
That was all of us, because we
Brendan,
were getting ready to do that public
My
investigation.
parents,
tonight.
my brother,
Yeah.
we were all there.
Yep.
And it's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon,
Something
or
like
3
that.
or something
I
like
think it's
that.
closer to 5, I think, but yeah.
It's broad daylight, and we're all in the sanctuary and everything. And my mom's just looking around. My mom makes that comment. Really wish I could hear or see
that's right.
something, And we heard that
Woman
female sing
Yeah.
just out of nowhere
And
up above us.
It was loud enough it echoed in the sanctuary.
Oh, God,
and
yes.
that room was gigantic.
and the look on my parents' face. I know my mom remembers that.
And we all
And then
heard
my
it except for
brother,
Grant. Yeah.
my brother and you,
Yeah.
saw that figure down the hallway, kind of back to the doors.
We did?
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
because my brother did, and I swear you did, and Ben did.
Probably, but I can't remember.
And there is a figure that was standing back there. There was
wow.
a older gentleman
Mhm.
back there, and then it backed off like immediately.
Wow. I don't
And you guys were like, "Oh, it's right there," And I'm like,
Yeah.
"It's happening," And here we are having all this activity, and poor Grant takes off the headphones. And is like, "Well, I heard a little bit. Oh, what the hell's going on?"
Like, we were
You
all
know.
just amazed.
Because
by
he's always like, "I always miss everything. Janet sees it and hears it, and I miss it." And
Well, he had the famous door
yeah,
almost hitting him. That's what started off the whole investigating from
Yeah.
Brandon's team and everybody else was,
and the little handprints in
Yeah.
the chairs and stuff, which I got to see.
Yeah. Well, I saw it upstairs on the chairs
ya?
that were up in the back corner in the classroom with all the fixtures. It was in that one kind of storage area.
Oh,
Yeah.
so these were the ones up in
Actual-
the behind the choir loft.
Oh, okay.
They had all the stacked chairs that were back there
Oh,
at
they
the
moved them
beginning,
over. Okay.
and they had all these little handprints all over it. And
Yeah.
the foreman freaked out and started wiping them all off. And
Yeah.
Grant stopped, and there's these little children handprints all over
Yeah.
the dust and everything. It was crazy.
No, they when I first started going there, the sanctuary or the choir loft was already tore apart.
Yeah.
And it was redone at that. Well, it was just an
They
empty room.
extended it out a little
Yeah.
bit, I think, and then they took away the
Because
doorways.
it used to be
you
like
know.
stair step, didn't it? Kind of tiered, and
Yeah,
they made
you-
it one level and up.
It had two
to
doors
where-
leading
yeah.
onto it, and that's where
Yeah, the
Nicole
doors
had
were redone.
Nicole had her incident. Jeremiah had his incident up
Right.
there, and
Yeah, no, because at that time they had cut the door. They had nailed the doors shut on the sides of the entrance used to
Yeah.
be. And they made the back too. You could walk on it behind that
Yeah.
wall. They redid it by that time I started going there. But
which is a shame because you would have loved it.
well, that's where we caught the famous Ernest. When Ben and I was out there, just like one of the first times I was there. Well, no, the first investigating time I was there. We went for the interview and stuff. When I caught some evidence that day when the thing told us to go away and stuff like that, and when we went to the interview part. But that's when Ben and I, and the actual first investigation part, is when we were up there by ourselves. And I think I was still new to the team. I think he was kind of testing me to see how how I performed, kind of a thing. And we were out there asking questions of the sanctuary. Just, anybody here with us? I could hear something behind us, moving around. And I'm like, I think got your answer, Ben. You hear me on recorder go, no, but it's actually when the infamous, he says his full name, whatever.
Right.
Ernest Reed, whatever knows his name. And I heard it, but I couldn't tell. I just knew something was behind us, pacing behind us to the doorway. And luckily we caught it, and
Ernest
whatnot.
Harry Reed.
Yeah, but you can't hear their Harry very well.
Not very,
You
no.
can hear the Ernest.
It wasn't until we got the information from Janet that
Yeah.
we knew who
right.
Ernest was, because at the time we were like, well,
Yeah.
who's Ernest?
But that was the same night Ben and I were seeing the little kids had pocket
Really?
peek up above because you come out of Ernest's office and there's a staircase that goes down, like kind of winds down, and you can see them like peeking them above the railing, and you can see their eyes like moving, and it's like, holy shit, am I seeing what I'm really seeing?
So on the Wichita Ghost Tour, I would take the bus up there, and I'd get like 30, 40 people off the bus and take
Right.
them inside. And I swear, each time we went in, there was some activity that would freak them all out. I remember coming out of the pastor's study,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a few of us that were following me and everything. We round the corner, and there's no children in the groups, you know. This
Right.
is usually an adult
Sure.
adventure at the time.
Right.
And giggling and running down the staircase, you can hear the shoes and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Is like at least 2 children running and giggling as they were running away from us and stuff.
Right.
Flipped everybody out that was standing there with me.
Yep.
I think they were just never expected to have that happen. And I'm
Yeah.
like, it's a ghost tour, you know. Isn't this what she asked for?
I think one of my favorite times also too, on a ghost tour that I wasn't a part of, you had told me, hey, will you do me a favor? Will you meet us up there? It was Nicole and I were on I say Nicole and I, Nicole and you were doing the tour.
Right.
And you're like, will you meet us up there and you can walk in there and tell some of the stories there. So I
Yeah.
remember Leo and I, it was on a Friday night, Leo and I came up from Derby. We drove up
Right.
there. Because Leo at the time was like 5 years old, I think. He wanted to go with me. He was just wanted to hang out with Dad, kind of thing. Plus, he was into ghost stuff at that age.
Right.
So I was like, okay, we'll go up there. And I remember him and Nicole and I, us three, had to walk in the dark from that side entrance all the way in the sanctuary, where it's creepy in the dark. And we had to put the lights on so you guys could come in. And eventually, you guys came in. And then we had to do the exact opposite, leaving, and it was just creepy as hell. And I just remember we were up on stage, and Leo, being as little as he was, he's like, and this is after we took the group upstairs and by Ernest's office and came all the way down. Oh, no, wait, did we take him up there yet? I don't think we did yet. No, we were just sitting on the stage waiting for you to come in. And I remember Leo pointing and goes, I don't want to go to that side of the building, Dad. And he pointed towards, which would be Ernest's office, and that side of the building, which would be the south side. And I looked at him, and I'm like, why? And he goes, that's the most haunted side of the building. And I looked at him I'm like, well, why do you say that? And he's like, I just know. And it freaked me out because I'm like, dude, he's freaking right. I mean, that is the most haunted side of the building where Ernest was and everything, and
Yeah.
the children and all that stuff. And I'm like, get the hell out of here, kid. How do you know this?
Wonder if they were all lined up watching.
Because here you have this little kid in there, you know, and yeah. And then we walked up there, and he was terrified to go up there. I'm like, you're fine. The lights are on. Come with me. We have this big group of people. So I remember him coming with us and walking with us. And then he
Yeah.
was fine because people were hanging out, talking. Up
I
there.
remember that.
But yeah, I was like, damn, how does this kid sense that, you know, at 5 years old?
It's your son. Come
Yeah,
on.
fuck, of course, yeah. But no, it was fun. I just remember, yeah, I couldn't wait to get out of there, especially having to walk back with Nicole and I and Leo getting out of there. Like, fuck, we gotta walk into this dark again. Out of here, because I knew at this point we'd been there so many times. I knew it was there, and that was a little edgy. Because that was one of the only places that gave me my original creeps, because I had to go up there the very first time by myself. And Claire's like, "Hey, Leo, go up there and put this cable way up there by Ernest's office and come back." And I'm like, by myself? Fuck, no, I don't want to do that. And I was freaked out the whole time. I'm like, hurrying up, don't make eye contact, hurry up and run downstairs, you know, 'cause I was new to the team still.
Right.
And it was creepy. I'll admit it. It's one of the only 2 places that creeped me out. Another one was Tahlequah the very first time we went there. And the shop. Every now and then will get to me. Because it's just...
It's got some interesting.
Just because it's changed along the way. It doesn't scare
Yeah.
me. It keeps me on heightened alert. Kind of, let's put it that way.
And the shop is where our 100th celebration is going to happen at.
Yep.
So
Yep.
it's a place that I think keeps us all on our
Yeah.
nerves kind of on
Yep.
the edge there, because we never know exactly what's going to happen, what's going to present itself.
Yeah. It's wherever
Stuff
my
we've
name
caught on
called,
camera to audio.
things
I
thrown
mean,
at us. Yeah, you name it. It's happened
Yeah.
there. And excuse me, I didn't mean to burp right there. But if you go back, find back our episode 50th. If you can't find it on Facebook, it's harder to find. Go to our YouTube channel at Cryptic Heartland. It's just youtube.com/
Right.
Cryptic Heartland.
It's
If you go back to the 50th episode, you'll see where we did our 50th celebration back there. That's why we're going back here for the 100th. Because this time we're pushing the limits a little bit different. We're going to be,
Yeah.
you know, like I said, isolated from each other. We're going to be doing some experiments that they're creepy. I've done it myself, and
Right.
they're not for the faint of heart. Basically, we'll put it that way.
I haven't tried any of them,
Nope.
so I'm ready to
Yeah,
try it myself. I know Jake and Dan are too. So.
yeah, they haven't tried it either.
No.
Yeah, only person that's tried it was me that's still with the team right now.
Right.
Yeah. So, and one of the best things I've caught was. Sorry, something just fell in front of me. One of the best things I caught was, or experienced during this time, was at the Delano house where I doing experimentation on live on Facebook, and I'm describing this thing slithering around my ankles, and I'm hearing a female whisper in my ear, and people were watching that night, and they're seeing eyes. I think you saw eyes in the back in the crawl space. Well, prior to this, I caught saying something to the spirit box, saying a different time, like 2 weeks before that, saying, I'm a demon, whatever. I'm like, okay, sure you
Yeah.
are. Well, then, anyways, this is the second time. This is Delano, not the shop, by the way. Anyways, I'm doing this experiment, and I experiencing that thing, female whisper in my ear, and then the thing about my ankles. I described it as a snake. That's when Roth and another investigator, shortly after that, did the Ouija board, of all things, just to test it out.
Yeah.
Somebody else that wasn't with us brought it, and we're like, let's do it on camera in the same area, and they got a name, which was a demonic name, and I look it up right away. It clicks with me right away. I pull up my phone instantly. Don't tell anybody, and I look at it. It's a female's name that takes the serpentine-like form, and I'm like, my mouth is like, holy shit, drop, because here I just experienced this like 30 minutes before that, and I don't know. It was crazy. It made me. Now the demon itself wasn't like a dark demon, but it's still a demon in itself. I mean, if you look at the demon name, it's there. I mean, it is what it is. And it's a name that I know Roth couldn't have picked out of a hat. I mean, because I don't think Roth dies that direction or whatever at all.
Right, I don't think so.
And it's not a common name, so it's just like, it's not your typical demon names. It's just like the fact, holy shit, this happened. But yeah, we're definitely going to do that experimentation, because you'll see some things that you'll never. These experiments, some of these are ones that they used to do psychologically in insane asylums, and well, not even insane asylums. It did it in some areas, and it drove people mad. I mean, because of what they saw and experienced. That you never know what you're going to see. So, and what better place to do it in than a haunted location? I mean, that we've had some crazy shit go on.
Get what you asked for, right?
I mean, just part of it was something we just experienced last time we were there, that nobody in their mind's going to believe what we captured there. I've shown the team what it was, and they're like, none of these guys can figure out what we caught, other than what
something
I saw with my own eyes, and
something was standing there.
That's why my camera goes that direction, and we caught something there. So it's haunted, trust me. So I'm excited. I can't wait. That's coming up August 1st.
Yep.
We'll get the dates. I mean, the time. Excuse me. When we're gonna go live that night. We're gonna go 5 hours, maybe. You never know. Maybe longer. Who knows? We may go 3. Who knows? But we'll go that night for our 100th celebration. Only on Cryptic Heartland, Facebook, YouTube, you name it. We're gonna be there. We're gonna be doing it, and it's gonna be a fun time. So you definitely don't want to miss that.
You bet.
Yeah. So that's the part of the show. It's over. It's 9 o'clock already.
Yep. Absolutely.
Who the frick knew it was going to be that fast? So, but no, like I said, just stay tuned. We'll make sure we're working on a commercial for it too. We'll get it out there so you guys can witness some things. You never know what you're going to see in that commercial. So I have lots of evidence from that place, and we're going to put it out there here pretty quick soon. So, in the meantime, make sure you like, subscribe to the channel. Like I said, turn notification on. That way, if you forget we're doing the show that night, you'll get the notification on your phone, or it'll say, hey, these guys are live. Oh, shoot, it's the 100th episode celebration. This is what they've been talking about for months now, because Corona derailed it, basically. But we're going live that night, and we're going to have the whole team hopefully there. We're going to have some special guests, hopefully. We're going to have all kinds of fun stuff going on. You definitely don't want to miss this. So, Saturday, August 1st. So, it's coming up in 2 weeks. But that's it, man.
All right.
Any parting words you want to say?
Nope. Just tune in to podcast next weekend.
Yeah. We'll be back with one more podcast in between there, and then we'll have the 100th episode
Hopefully
coming up.
survive the crappy week of work and make it to the weekend.
You had to remind me of work.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. But no, thank you guys for tuning in this evening. We will see you next week with another podcast before the 100th episode celebration. So
You bet.
thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
See ya.
Bye.